On a quiet country road, two bikes stood side by side under the golden sun. One was a sleek, aggressive sport bike, its shiny, modern frame and powerful engine a testament to cutting-edge technology. The other, an old classic, its frame gently worn, carried the nostalgia of a bygone era. Max, the owner of the sport bike, revved the engine, the roar echoing through the hills. He loved the speed, the adrenaline, the rush of wind against his face. His bike was built for one thing, going fast, tearing through roads like a flash of lightning. Max himself was dressed in full riding gear, a sleek helmet, a leather jacket, and sturdy boots, ready for the ride of his life. Next to him stood Leo, his older brother, with his classic bike, an older model passed down from their grandfather. The bike wasn't fast, but it was steady. It had character, and Leo often said that it had stories in its engine, each scratch and dent a mark of a long-lived journey. Leo, too, was geared up, but his attire was more relaxed, a vintage leather jacket with worn patches. "You ready for this?" Max grinned, his gloves tightened, ready to race. Leo smiled, the corners of his eyes crinkling. "I'm ready, but remember, not all races are about winning." Max scoffed but held his tongue. The race started. Max shot forward with the power of the sport bike, the engine purring like a lion chasing its prey. Leo, in contrast, took his time, the sound of the classic bike smooth, its wheels turning with a rhythm that seemed to match the rhythm of the world itself. Max sped ahead with a confident grin, his sport bike eating up the miles, but Leo wasn't far behind. His classic bike hummed steadily, matching the beat of the road. Max glanced over his shoulder after a few miles, expecting to see Leo far behind. To his surprise, Leo was there, his classic bike holding steady. "What's the matter?" Max shouted over the wind. "You gonna catch up or what?" Leo only chuckled. "I'm not racing for speed, Max. I'm racing for the journey." They rode on through the hills, the road winding and curving with the landscape. Max could feel the tension of the race fading, the adrenaline turning into a quiet joy as the classic bike kept pace, undisturbed by the speed of his own ride. When they finally stopped, Max was breathless, but not from speed. He was struck by the joy of the ride itself, the smooth, steady journey Leo had taken on his classic bike. "Maybe you're right," Max said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "It's not always about winning." Leo nodded, leaning on the handlebars of his classic bike, his posture relaxed and confident. "It's about the ride, little brother. That's what makes it all worth it." And so the sport bike and the classic bike stood together, their engines silent for a moment, their riders sharing the quiet understanding that some things, like the joy of the ride, weren't defined by how fast you went, but by the memories you made along the way.